Hello, witches, and welcome back to Wine and Witchcraft. It is 2024. Let's get this party started.
Come as you are, as you were, as I want you to be, as a friend, as an old enemy. Take your time, hurry up, the choice is yours, don't be late. Take a rest, as a friend, as an old memory. Come, doused in mud, soaked in bleach, as I want you to be, as a trend, as a friend, as an old.
God, I missed that intro.
It feels like we've been gone. I guess we have been gone a while. Like taking one show off is basically a month.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt like it. I mean, you and Shireen, or you and Owlvine did your Traverse in the Darkness thing.
We did.
But
We did.
I've had the time off.
Yes, you did have the time off. How did it treat you?
Great. Got nothing
Great.
accomplished.
It's been fantastic. Well, let's take a look.
Great.
It's been great. So let's take a look. Faye, my soul said, "Missed you guys so much. See you soon." Well, we're here. Gemini Grey Wolf, hello, honey. We have Jennifer. Debbie is here. We have Maple Birch Ivy, Maria Carter. We have Debs here as well. Witchy Best Friend, hello. Megan, Gaia Sisters. Karen is also here in the chat, I see. All right. Okay. What are we drinking tonight, Brittany?
Well, I'm actually drinking wine for the first time in like months. I am drinking something I'm not a big fan of. I'm trying to get rid of all my wine. So I'm drinking. I only have like 3 bottles left. So this is, where the fuck is this from? Portugal. So we're in Portugal. This is Castelo de Turna or something. I don't fucking know. I've already started hitting the bottle, hitting the sauce, but I'm not a big fan of it. But hey, I haven't had wine in a hot minute.
Yeah, that's true. It has been a minute. I am drinking a sparkling Jose Cuervo margarita in the flavor lime, and it is actually very, very good. So that's what we're drinking in here. And I love it. 8% alcohol. Got to do it right. Alma Hernandez said she finally made it to Alive.
Yay, cherry pop!
Welcome, everybody. Welcome Alma to her first live. We're popping her cherry here. Crafting, which is here as well. Okay. We've been gone for a month. It's
It hasn't
2024.
been a month, has it? No.
If you look, it technically has.
Shut up.
We do an episode every 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks basically since our last show.
Yeah, I mean, we had the Yule episode, which was like right before Christmas, and then you and Owlvine had your show for the podcast, just a little live for the podcast, because I thought I would be in other places. But we actually decided that the last like where the last show would be at the end of the year, we're gonna take a week off to have a little vacation from doing the show. So that'll be something you'll see here. You know, from here on out, is that last week of the year, we're going to take off. So there'll always be at the end of the year a break for Justin and I to just chill and regroup for the new year. Because it was, even though Justin, you were still kind of doing a live, it was just to kind of, it was kind of cool to be on the opposite side of the spectrum. Yeah, on the opposite side of the spectrum, on the opposite side of the screen, and be one watching a show and then doing a show. It was like, I was like, ooh, I get to be on a computer. It was kind of cool. So
yeah, I was like, we're at time off. And I was like, well, kinda.
yeah, for me it was, but we did it not because we wanted a week off. We did it because we thought I would be what's the word I'm looking for? Not available, but that didn't end up being the case. I actually was available, but we said just keep it the way it is.
Just keep it the way it is. Yes. So it is 2024, first episode of the new year. We are so excited to be back. What did everybody do for ringing in 2024? I know a big part of the community. I was actually just about to talk about this. Ivy the Occultist is here. Hello, sweetheart.
Hello.
12 days of Yule. Hello. 12 days of Yule was going on. I had intention of doing them all. I did 4.
That's how it always is with you. You always say you're going to do something. You're like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm done. I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot. Well, and I really thought like most of the time during the holidays, I don't feel like I do very much. Like normally, I feel like I'm normally like just hanging out at home or whatever. And this holiday season, I felt like I was so busy. But, it was great to see a whole bunch of new comments. Yeah, you do have 2 blonde bombshells here.
Oh, yes. I've recently got my hair done because it was a travesty, but I have a new hairstylist now, and she has gotten it almost completely platinum, which my other hairstylist said was impossible, but she was wrong because I just got it done like 2 days ago. So fresh hair.
Fresh hair. So ringing in 2024, Brittany, did you do anything for the new year?
No. So I didn't celebrate Christmas, Yule, or New Year's. I think New Year's I went to bed like early. And then where we live is a downtown area. Oh, let's just get really into that real quick. I haven't moved yet. I'll get into that later. But where we live right now is a downtown area, and the fireworks went off at midnight. So even if we had started falling asleep, we were woken up by those. It was a whole thing. But yeah, I didn't drink at all. Because I don't really have anybody to drink with. So I was like, well, I'm not going to any parties. I have no friends. So I'm just going to go to bed early. Fuck this fucking holiday. And then Christmas, I didn't celebrate it because we thought we were moving, and we didn't move over Christmas, and we didn't move right after Christmas. So we just kind of skipped the holiday and so I didn't celebrate any of the holidays at fucking all. So the reason why I'm coming to you from a cubicle, well, it's not a cubicle.
When I got in the studio, I was like, you look like you're at like an MLN corporate meeting with your jasmine blossoms behind you.
So I am still in my house. I have not moved yet. So, well, what happened? Brittany, I thought the last time you came to us in December, that was going to be it because you were going to be moving in like a week. Well, yeah, that was supposed to be it, right? We were given the 27th as a move date or a closing date in our house. Well, what had happened was they moved it and they said, just kidding. It's going to be January 15th. And then after that, they're like, just kidding. It's going to be January 22nd. So I don't, we've already started packing. So I don't have a witchy room. Everything is in boxes and disassembled. And if it's not in boxes, it's all over my fucking floor. I mean, I get crystal stones, herbs, just shit everywhere. So I don't really have a witchy room anymore. So I'm actually coming to you from my bedroom. Not even on my computer. I'm coming to you on my laptop. I put this little cubicle partition up because this is my bedroom and I don't need you to see my bedroom. And then my husband is behind the curtain on the bed, like watching a movie. So you don't need to see all that, So I was like, well, I'm just going to put this little partition thing we have up so that, you don't see all the things, but yeah, unfortunately, my move date is now January, or my closing date is now January 22nd. Let's everybody fucking cross our fucking fingers, because I swear to God, if the date moves one more time, I'm gonna blow up. I'm gonna kill myself. Because I can't take these.
If you're gonna do that, can you just do it on the next live? I think it'll help with numbers.
It's just, our closing date, I shit you not, has moved 4 fucking times. And this last time, before it moved because they didn't have the electric meter attached, because they're waiting in the city to attach the electric meter. They finally got the electric meter. Now, it's moving again because it didn't pass the final inspection, because there's one little thing in the garage they have to sand down or, finish. So now it's supposed to be January 22nd. And our whole house is kind of like, I would say maybe 50 to 60% packed. You're climbing over boxes to get places, and I can't take it. It's driving me nuts. We did have our blue tape walkthrough last week. So that's a good sign that we've had our blue tape walkthrough, because that's the first of the 2 walkthroughs you have to go through before your closing date. So yeah, I mean, it's honestly, I told Anthony, I'm like, I'm never buying a new build house ever again. I'm not doing this again. This has been fucking torture. So that's where we're at. We're in my bedroom because the witchy room is packed up and I don't want you to see my bedroom. So long story short.
Yeah. So we have a witch and a corporate Brittany right here.
Right. And I'm dipping out on the 27th episode either. I won't be here for the 27th episode because I will be in Dania Beach, Florida with Nina's husband rocking out to Quiet Riot. So I will not be here for the 27th show, but Owl Vine will be here in my place. So that's a positive plus.
She will be. We'll be doing an episode all about magical record keeping. It's going to be an interesting show. I think it's going to be a fun show. And then, hopefully in February, we'll be back.
It'll be back to normal. Yeah.
We are on a normal schedule, but you know what I mean.
My life won't be so chaotic that it'll get in the way of all the things, and and I always feel bad. I've been apologizing to Justin like nonstop. I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is my fault. This is my bad. I'm so sorry. He's like, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. I'm like, well, it is to me. God damn it. So yeah, I mean, and I felt really bad because I didn't realize that the Quiet Riot concert was on a Saturday. For some reason, I thought it was on a Friday. And then when I realized it was on a Saturday, I'm like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, don't worry. We have Owl Vine. We're fine. It's not a big deal. We will miss you, but love Owl Vine. See, they love Owl Vine more than me anyway. So it's all good.
Hello. You finally made it to a live show. Welcome. Okay, so it's the beginning of 2024. We did talk a little bit about this in the Traversing the Darkness. Okay, we did also want to say thank you guys so much for showing up to the Traversing the Darkness podcast, the live that we did. We didn't know how it was going to turn out. It turned out fantastically well. So thank you guys so much. If you don't know about Traversing the Darkness, you can look it up on YouTube. We do post it over there. Season 3 is coming. At some point, we're trying to do all the things. That's what that is. But I did figure we could kind of roll some of that into this episode and talk about going into 2024, like some of the things we want to work on. What are some of the things we want to delve into in our witchcraft practice going into this new year? So Brittany, do you have anything specifically like you're wanting to really try to hone in on? I think I have an idea, but you have the floor, boom.
So first I want to start off by saying that, Traversing the Darkness is I don't know if you call it a subsidiary. What is it? It's a branch. It's a department.
Something.
It's a subsidiary of Wine and Witchcraft, and I know you guys were really nervous doing your first kind of live, and I honestly, and I think everybody else can agree that you probably should do those maybe quarterly or once a year, just to be on camera and talk to your audience live like that, and I think everybody that watched that can agree that was absolutely fantastic. I know you guys are nervous because you've never done it before, but it went so well that I think that should be something that you guys might want to consider to do maybe once or twice a year. Would be kind of cool to kind of just have that intimacy with your audience, because the podcast is such a success and is growing. With that being said, because I thoroughly enjoyed it from my bed in my jammies, for the second half of 2023, and I talked about this a little bit in the podcast show, in the audience, my witchcraft is kind of gone like this, on purpose, kind of, because the very beginning of the year, everything kicked off great, but then this whole thing of my life being upheavaled with trying to buy a house and build a house, my witchcraft kind of came dormant. I haven't practiced really. And I think I talked in the podcast audience about, I haven't really even set foot in the witchy room except for to do Wine and Witchcraft. And that's not like me. I was either in there every other day or every day, and then it went from not really going in there at all. So at the beginning of the year, up until I kind of stopped practicing, I was kind of exploring Kemetic witchcraft, which is basically Egyptian witchcraft. It's just, that's the name for it. It's the kind of the Egyptian path of witchcraft. Learning about all the deities and the gods and the goddesses of Egypt, all their customs and all those kinds of things. So I kind of started dabbling in that, but then, like I said, I put everything on hold. After I got back from Vegas, everything just got put on hold. So I kind of, when I move and the dust settles, I kind of want to start exploring that a little bit. Another thing I tried in 2023, the beginning of 2023, when I was still actively practicing, was keeping a journal of all of my tarot readings. I was always doing it kind of like once a week. Then I try to do it like every day. I learned from that experience. It was very short-lived. It lasted like 2 months, like January and February, maybe like half into March. And then I just stopped doing it. Like, I would still pull cards and stuff, but then I stopped record keeping all of it. And I paid a lot of money for that journal and shit. And I didn't, and I kind of maybe want to explore that. And I think that's going to be kind of interesting to kind of watch the episode that's going to be on the 27th, because it does go along with all that. People that struggle with magical record keeping, whether it be a book of shadows, a grimoire, a tarot record keeping kind of journal. I think there's many people that are successful at that kind of thing in their practice, and there are many people that are just not successful at all in any of that kind of stuff. So maybe in that episode with the guests that you guys have, there'll be some kind of insight to kind of help people like me who just kind of suck at record keeping and have spent a lot of money on record keeping and grimoires, book of shadows, journals, and just don't keep up with it. But I think for me, the biggest thing in 2024 that is going to be a huge thing is, while I'm not practicing witchcraft because my life is kind of fucked up right now with this building a house and moving, I'm really excited to I kind of feel like the tower right now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this part of my life is just is the tower. And I'm moving into this house, the first time house owner. We've never bought a house and owned it. So the first time home buyer, and having a house that's ours, and having a witchy room that's outright mine, and all those things, painting it and decorating it and doing the things. And I think it's going to be, and I explained this to Justin earlier, because my witchcraft has become so dormant because I have all this I have A, B, C, and D going on in my life right now. I feel like when I close my eyes and I think about what February is going to bring, what that new start is going to bring, I imagine what it's going to be like, almost an analogy of having a grenade and pulling out the pin And then when I move in, letting it go, and then just the explosion of witchcraft, like the explosion of all the things that are going to happen. Because I just really feel that move is going to be like a huge explosion of witchcraft and spirituality and exploration, and it's going to be like that fire all over again. And I'm really super excited for that. But that's what I'm kind of thinking in 2024 is the reignition of my witchcraft. I think that's what that's all going to be all about.
Well, I think it's a very good thing to talk about too, because I think it all goes back to anxiety and how we like process anxiety. And you and I are very similar. And I think a lot of people can relate to being anxious and that kind of manifesting in a way where you retreat from things. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I do a lot of the same thing where when I'm anxious or overwhelmed, instead of like trying to embrace my spirituality and my practice, I at times will just kind of revert and like just clam right up and just neglect things. Yeah. It's something you have to like take stock in and know like how you process and trying to like deviate that. But it's hard to do when that's how you process stress. You know what I mean? And anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think I said this in your show. I said in your podcast show, I said, you know, a lot of us witches, instead of running to our witchcraft during times of stress and anxiety and need, we run away. And that's kind of what I did. I kind of just, I put everything on hold as far as my spirituality. You know, you don't ever stop being a witch. It's not that I ever stopped being a witch or I ever stopped anything like that. It's just I kind of went dormant. You know, because I think I've been a witch since the day I was born, because, you know, you think back at things you did when you were 5 and you're like, oh my God, I was such a witch child. You know, you always are, you know, but I think that my craft has just kind of gone dormant because this building a house and moving and buying a house is just such a big part of my life. And then with them fucking with our heads with the whole, here's your closing date. No, it's not. Here's your closing date. No, it's not. It's just, it just fucks with you so bad. That witchcraft has not been on the forefront of my, you know, my thought process. So in a roundabout way, what I'm trying to say is I think 2024 is going to be huge for me spiritually. It's going to be huge. Now that's not going to happen until February, but, we've already gotten the email saying your closing date is in January. So we know it's going to happen in January, and we're 95% sure it will stick. It will stick to the 22nd. But with the track record of like, here's your closing date. No, it's not. Here's your closing date. No, it's not. It's just, I can't take one more date push. I really fucking can't take it.
Yeah, I feel you. Megan, it takes a lot of time and dedication for any type of journaling. I think too, like there's going to be a whole episode of Magical Record Keeping at the end of this month, but just to touch on that too, I think there's a lot of pressure within the community and like, just the idea of what magical record keeping is. And I think it almost falls into an aesthetic where we feel like we have to do it in a traditional way. And that pressure can be daunting. That's my view of it. And like, for me, my magical record keeping is all about what works for you. Like, I'm a picture taker. Like if I do a spell, I'm taking a picture of it. Doesn't mean I'm going to share it on socials. Or if I'm doing a reading, I'm just taking a picture. Like I am not somebody either who's good with journaling or having a grimoire or a book of shadows and like recording everything. Partly because I'm lazy. And 2, when I've tried to engage in that type of like record keeping, I often find myself being annoyed that I have to do it, or I'm doing it and I don't go back to refer to it. You know what I mean? I oftentimes think it's easier for me to take a picture of what I'm doing, take a picture of my ingredients, or even going into my notes on my iPhone and just like texting it and putting it in my phone and going and referring to it, because we're all on our phones. Good, bad, or indifferent. Like majority of us have our phones with us at all times and it's right there. So why not use it? But it doesn't have like a magical feel to it. Do you know what I mean? Like recording on your phone doesn't feel like aesthetically pleasing. It like doesn't get you in that witchy mentality. And it's not like an actual book that you hold and like flip the pages and smell it and it's all like gets you in the mood. But I think you just have to do what works for you. And for me, that's what works for me. Like I just can't journal. I just can't.
No. And, I mean, I can if I'm in the right headspace to do it. And, the reason why we're talking about kind of record keeping right now in a generalized kind of conversation is I'm not going to be here for the 27th. I won't even be able to watch it. I'll have to watch the replay. So I'm kind of putting in my 2 cents as I won't be here for that show. And that show is going to be all about magical record keeping. So definitely tune in for the show on the 27th. But since I won't be in that show or be able to be in the audience of that show, we decided we touch upon it a little bit as far as my view. And as far as tarot, I too take pictures because what I used to do is I used to do a 3-card spread with one oracle pull at the beginning of every single week. And I would take a picture of it and then refer back to it throughout the week because those cards were drawn for that week. So I would reflect on it throughout the week to see where it was leading me. And at the end of the week, I would just delete it and, obviously start the new week. But, I bought this journal and a lot of people have this journal. It comes with the stamps and you stamp them. And it was really great. And I love doing it. But then and I said this to Justin earlier, we're like the excuse queens. We're like excuse witches. We are lazy asses. We'll come up with every excuse in the book of why we said we were going to do something and stick to it and didn't. But I think that's a lot of people. I don't think that's just us. But you almost kind of have to have like this extreme willpower desire, It's kind of like, for me, it's like New Year's resolutions. I don't even bother making them anymore because I know I ain't going to keep them. They're just useless. But I've tried tarot journals so many different times and I never stick to it. It always lasts like 2 or 3 months and I don't stick to it. I've tried a book of shadows probably 3 or 4 times in 3 different kinds of formats to see if I could try to do that. I'm like, well, maybe this format's not working for me. Let's try maybe like a scrapbook type of format. Didn't work for me. I'm like, let's try maybe have like a kind of already made book of shadows that you can just add to, but a lot of information is kind of already in there. Didn't work for me. But I love the idea of journals, right? So I'm really excited for the show on the 27th because I'm hoping that other ideas get sparked where people had the same kind of issues. Because I have like 3 or 4, I have like 5 different journals that I love that I want to utilize, but I'm not really sure how to start them and keep them going. So, maybe that will help. And I think that show may help a lot of people in the same predicament that record keeping in general, magical record keeping in general, whether it's tarot or BOS, the struggle with it. And I think for some people, when you're baby witches, when you're very starting out, you see all these awesome book of shadows, right? Like, like Charmed book of shadows, or people that are artists that can really draw, have these beautiful, like old timey looking things with the tea stained paper and all these things. And you think you have to have that. So then you get nervous, right? Then the nerves are on, the stress is on to have this beautiful, perfect book of shadows. And then you run into those people that say, nah, girl, you just need a 3-ring notebook, or nah, you just need a 3-ring binder. So then you try that, but you're still not happy with it. It's like, it fucks with your head in a way.
Well, and I think too, to be just like quite frank, I think if it was important, you would do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing with like weight loss. Like, speaking from personal experience and someone who's had bariatric surgery, like I needed a tool and I just never found the tool that worked for me until I got a vital organ cut out of my body. And that's what worked for me. And that's kind of the thing. And I think a lot of it has to do with pressure. You feel like you should be doing something. And I think it kind of goes along the same terms of New Year's resolutions. Like we feel like we should be going to the gym more, that we should be eating healthier, that we should be reading books more, that we should be doing all these things. And, all those things are good. None of that's bad, but you have to do it because you want to do it. And if you're not going to put in the time, then it's not important. Like that's just a basic, not to be a bitch about it, but that's just the truth. Like if you cared, if I cared, we would do it. It's just not important to us. And I think that's okay.
A lot of people say that you should be writing down your spells because you need to write down the ingredients and how much you used and what your words of power were and how to cast the spell in case you need to use the spell later. Now, here's the thing. Yes, that is so very true. But the way I practice witchcraft, no spell is ever the same because not every situation's the same. So say I do a spell for, I don't know, I'm just going to put it out there for sake of conversation, love, right? And I have A, B, and C ingredients, and I have this incantations, this, and this candle, this, and this kind of parchment paper, and all these kinds of things, right? For that specific love situation. But why would I use that specific love situation for a love situation that's completely different 6 months from that? You see what I'm saying? So I get it. I completely get it. But in my life, in my practice, everything gets tweaked for this current emotional situation anyway. You know, so no spell for me, honestly, is exactly the same. They may be very similar to each other, but every situation for me, the emotion is different. The people are different. You know, the universe might be different. It's all a situational thing. So I've never felt that it was necessary for me to record. Now, I do think it might be necessary to record just to see what the results are, so you can look back on the results later on. But to copy that spell later on in time, you know, because as a witch, I'm using my intuition anyway. So if I use, you know, basil, bay leaf, lavender, and chamomile in that spell, but I like the three, but the fourth one, the bay leaf, I'm not feeling so much, and I want to replace it with patchouli. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like Voga said, the spell itself is open to interpretation. You can keep those recorded as you see fit, but I'd implore anyone to record the results, most importantly, to compare and contrast in the future. I agree.
Now that I agree.
And then the results are more important than how you recorded, do it works. 100%. I agree with that. 100%.
And then Jennifer's saying, I agree. I rarely repeat the same spell.
Well, and I think too, like, we talked about this in the podcast episode, you know, Alavine and I both work with saints. I think still more so me, I work with like a handful of different saints, but I've worked with Saint Expedite and had great success. Now, saints are, in my view, a little bit different, but I've always had a very particular way of working with Saint Expedite, and 99% of the time I get the result, right? And she had posted something on TikTok, and I said, okay, I like that. I spoke to her in private. I was like, okay, give me some more details. I want to do it the way that you do it to see if it works. I had no result, zero. Like it didn't happen. And I was like, okay, you're a lying bitch. This is not magic. You're not a witch. She's like, fuck you. And I was like, it didn't work.
For the podcast.
Right. It just didn't work for me. So I went back to what I was doing. But I agree. Like in the mindset of magical record keeping, I think that's what's important, because I think realistically, majority of us are not going to be, you know, I think there's this like idea of like lineage attached to the idea of a grimoire or a BOS, or at least that's my interpretation of how I see people react to it and how I have reacted to it mentally and emotionally. But I think realistically, most of our children, our family members, for a lot of people, not everybody, are not going to use they're not going to have the same spirituality that we do, or the same sort of spiritual practice that we do. So I think if we can take out that mentality, I think it would be easier for us to look at magical record keeping for our own spiritual growth rather than a continued lineage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, because we've been in a way indoctrinated to think like with things like Charmed and like The Craft and like all the Hollywood things, that it's this big grand thing. But like Voga said, I think that's the most important aspect, is looking at it for your own benefit, for the success rate of your magical workings. Like, granted, no matter how much you record, you're not going to get 100% success rate. Like none of us are, because as you were saying, like every situation is different. So the results are going to vary. Okay.
I'm burning all my shit before I die. Oh, she's funny.
Well, you know, I've said this from the beginning. I'm a very basic witch. I have certain herbs that I like to work with, and I will use them in a varied ways. Like coffee is one of my favorites. Can get me into trouble sometimes, because speeding things up and energizing things doesn't always, you know, I think of it like a car. You can speed to your location. Speeding can sometimes cause an accident. You can sometimes get a ticket. So it's not always the best answer. But when I find an herb or a tool that I like, I have a tendency to keep using it. And then I oftentimes, if I want to change it, I kind of am chaotic in nature. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just going to start grabbing shit. And then we'll just fucking see what happens.
I mean, I have probably 50 herbs, give or take, in my repertoire. And I do use just about every single one of them. I think really the only one that I haven't really used, honestly, and I actually, the reason I know this is because I just, I packed up my herbs. If you guys saw my witchy room right now, you guys would be like, holy shit. There's nothing on the walls. You've seen it, Justin. There's nothing on the walls. Everything is torn apart. Shelves are down. Bookcases are empty. I was going through my herbs because I was packing them. And there's one that I specifically remember getting. I bought it, I think at a local witchy shop, and I've never used it. And that's hyssop. I for some reason I bought hyssop. I've never fucking used it. For some reason I bought it thinking, because I think at the time I had friends that were using hyssop for like everything. I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to need some. I bought it. I've never fucking used it. But other than that, like, I don't really stick to the same herbs. I do change up my herbs quite frequently and use, I would say, majority of them. But I think if any of the record keeping that I could possibly do that'd be useful would be herb usage. I think for me personally, that would be, to what herbs were more successful, more powerful than others. So when I go reaching for things, like, because there's multiple herbs that you can do the same thing, right?
Right.
So, and there's a lot of herbs that can do 7 different things, so to have like, okay, if it's bay leaf versus basil, let's just say they intertwine and do some of the same things. Which one happened to be the stronger one in spell? You know what I mean? So that kind of thing I think would be actually more beneficial if I were to stick to some kind of record keeping than anything else for me personally.
Well, everyone's saying they love Notebook Goblin. I think all magical practitioners love books.
Oh, we love books.
Books and boxes.
You could buy me notebooks. You could buy me journals. You could buy me all sorts of shit, and I would love the fuck out of it. I do love the fuck out of it, but they're all empty because and that's why I'm saying we all love, just like we love jars, like right. We all are big jar hoarders. And we all love our jars and our little boxes, trinket boxes, and all. We all love this shit. And notebooks is just another one of those things that we love to collect. We all have this intention to use them, and we never fucking do. I have this theory that all witches are fucking hoarders, and we should have our own fucking witchy hoarding show.
I would say that that's probably accurate.
I mean, honestly, we go to witchy shops and we buy stuff because we see it. We go, well, I know so-and-so used this and I might need it someday. So it's good to have it, than not need to reach for it and not have it at all. So we buy all this shit. And then like, do you know that black candle, that weird black candle thing we bought in New Orleans? Do you
I still haven't lit mine. Yep, I haven't lit it yet.
But we bought it, but what the fuck did we buy it for? Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, and the thing is, like, I used to be one of those people that would just like go to any store and just start buying shit. I've become more, I don't know, my apothecary is like so empty, but I don't know. I guess I'm like, I don't even write down the magical meanings for everything. I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants and okay, I like this. Let's go with that. But also I
have what everything, like on my jars, I have what their properties are. So if I need something for, strength, I can turn the label over and read which one's for strength. I don't have them memorized. I ain't all about that. No, I have to have the labels on them, what they are good for, so that I can know what to reach for.
I just grabbed the Hoodoo Herbs and Root Workbook, and I'm like, okay, I want somebody to die. Death. What do I need? Like that's, there's so many resources now, and I think that's why it's something that adds to the lack of magical record keeping and like the traditional like thought process of magical record keeping for me. But okay, for 2024, what do I want to work on? I want to work more on psychic ability. I want to work more on tarot. I know Alvina and I have talked about like possibly creating through the Wine and Witchcraft brand like a tarot group. where we'll all go through and do like a tarot study to get more familiar and become more, not advanced, I hate the word advanced, but more comfortable with reading for ourselves and reading for other people. So that's something I want to do. I don't, ever since I got Aradia's psychic oil and then really delving into dream magic, I've kind of been enthralled with that. So I still want to continue to explore that into 2024. And I also want to do more research and practice on automatic writing. And let me tell you why. It's a stupid fucking reason. I'm just going to preface that, okay? It's completely influenced by Hollywood. Okay, get it. You're basic, you're fake. Got it. I own it. Has anybody ever seen the Stephen King? Has anybody ever seen the Stephen King TV film Red Rose? Has anybody ever seen Red Rose? Red Rose. It's like 7 hours long.
No.
I want to know if you bitches have seen it. Okay. So basically there's this, she's not crazy. She's just, I don't know, like her eyes roll in the back of her head and she does automatic writing. Okay. I don't want my eyes to roll in the back of my head. That would be good for a video. I don't think I can do that. But anyway, I would like to delve into automatic writing. I know it's not going to be like that, but I wish it was. But that's something also that I would like to tap into. And I was talking about on the live for the podcast that a lot of my practice basically closing 2023 has really kind of, the clickbait of it all. Exactly. I really am like, I feel a shift happening in how I like approach the magical realm. Okay. The fourth wing of it all. I just want to, I don't know, look at things differently. And I'm kind of moving away from like the kinesthetic witchcraft, like mixing herbs and candles. I kind of want to like delve into the psychosis of it all and just kind of lose my mind. And become Nancy from The Craft. Like that's just my goal, okay, for 2024. Except I'm not going to jump out of a window. I'm not going to push anybody out a window. I might. Who knows?
You're sorry.
You're sorry. We'll just have to see what happens. But that's kind of my goal for this year is to lose my shit.
Be in a straitjacket. That's your goal.
Yes, go slowly into madness. Hello. Nancy is everyone's goal, right? Thank you. I'm glad, we did an anniversary show at the end of season 3, and we were talking about Nancy, and some people do you remember this, Brittany? Some people in the chat were like offended that we liked Nancy.
No,
you don't remember
I don't
that? They were like, she was evil. She killed somebody. She's lost her mind. Okay, we're all a little crazy. Like it's a film.
I don't remember people dogging on Nancy. I mean, you got to remember. Okay, hello, it's fiction.
Not only that, but the same people are whatever. Don't even get me started on Gypsy Rose. I can't.
Oh God. Oh Lord Jesus. Okay.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard, I'm done. Like, I don't get it. I'm so confused.
Another goal for 2024. We're in, I was going to say 3034. No, 2024. I'm a little tipsy. Is to come back to YouTube. So yes, I basically, along with putting my practice on hold, I put my YouTube on hold. Nothing is being deleted. It's just, I stopped to concentrate on other things, but I'm really excited to come back to YouTube on a regular, right? So that'll be another thing I'm kind of looking forward to in 2024. New room, new practice, new thing, new other version of myself, because I'll be exploring new things. And I think I was talking to you earlier, Justin, about, you know how in the podcast show you guys had talked about, I think Karen actually brought it up, how she wishes she still had that feeling she did when she was a baby witch. And it made me think, like, about all the times I have felt a spark of that, and that's usually when you're exploring something new to bring into your craft. Like when we were exploring hoodoo, we felt like baby witches because we were in that field, right? So, you know, exploring a new part of witchcraft, being comedic witchcraft, maybe bring some of that into my craft, or we'll see where that goes. I'm going to get that spark again of like a kid in a candy store learning something new. So I always think that like you're never really outgrow the baby witch. It's just you're exploring different little aspects and little things. And I think that'll be exciting to bring some of those different things I'm going to explore throughout 2024 into my channel too, because I'm going to be coming back to YouTube as well, not just with my craft, but whatever I'm learning or seeking or experimenting with, or things I may master, you know, I can do videos on and bring that to my channel. So I know a lot of people ask me like, you know, are you done with YouTube? Are you ever coming back to Esoteric Echoes? Like, what's the deal? I am, and I'm so excited about it. So, you know, that's going to be an exciting thing for me for 2024 as well.
Well, you know, monotony is something. You know, even in witchcraft or like any spiritual practice, like if you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, like it's human nature, I think, spiritually, to just get bored, to like just do the same thing over and over again. And I don't know that there is such thing as a baby witch or an advanced witch, or like,
no,
you know,
I don't think so.
It's once we stop exploring, you just get bored. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm doing the same thing. Like, come on, I need something new.
Something
and
new
there's
to explore. Yeah.
right. And there's so much out there to explore and connections to be made with people to learn new things. And I think that's the biggest element. Like, a lot of us practice solitary, a lot of us practice with other people, but we're still humans. Like, we need social interaction, and we need to be able to be social to grow spiritually, personally, professionally, like all of those things. So, you know, if you're going to do the same shit and not explore anything, you're going to get fucking bored, because like, who wants to do the same thing all the time?
It's been a long time since we explored something new. I've been doing the same thing in my practice. I haven't really brought anything new into my practice or tried to study something new, you know, because that's what we do. But I just love the term baby witch, because you're a baby at something somewhere. You're always a baby learning something new, you know. I don't think that there's such thing as like entry level, intermediate, advanced, because that never really happens if you think about it. Because you can consider yourself like, oh, I've been practicing for 15 years, I'm advanced level. Bitch, do you know how much shit you fucking probably haven't even explored yet? So, you know, I just like the term, because you're always a baby at something, you know. You're never really fully grown until the day you fucking croak, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only way the advancement comes with experience, like having, to me, magic is just like science. Like, it's trial and error. That's what it is. And the more you do, the more you find out what works for you. And if you work with deity or any sort of spirits, you know, you're going to find what works with those spirits, and how to communicate with them, and the relationships with you that you build with them are all very important to the success of whatever it is you're doing, or how you're invoking, you know, whatever it is. And at the end of the day, you know, it's all work. Like, it's a practice, it's a craft. And in order to find out what works, you have to do something. You know, you have to do something.
Be well versed. I think you can be well versed at a topic or a part of witchcraft. You can be well versed in it and well experienced. But I don't think you can ever be like some, like, I am all holier than thou type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we've talked about different topics that you and I want to do, maybe with or without a guest. And, you know, I've used that word, well, we're well versed in A, B, and C. You know, are we masters at anything? Fuck no. You know, and we've been practicing for God, like, probably like more than 13 years. How long has it been now? Well, you and I have been practicing with it for like 15 plus. And I ain't no master. I ain't advancing anything. Fuck that. No.
Yeah, I don't. Well, and the advancement is only, like I said, you can only share your experience, right? Like, it only becomes, it's only like working, like Saint Expedite, for instance, like, so many people have worked with him and have established, like, he likes pound cake, right? Like, that's a general way of doing offerings to him, bartering with him. But the manner in which you communicate and the relationship you build and all of that, like spirit comes, the way he comes to me is not the same way he comes to Owlvine, obviously, because the way they work together did not work for me. It just didn't. So it, you know, there's always little intricacies that are different among each person. So the only thing we can share is what we experience with the spirit, or, you know, however you want to address that, and how you move magic. But again, even through experience, I still can't promise you like, okay, I've done this money spell, I got what I asked for, you go do it and it's 100% going to work for you. Like you just can't guarantee that. That's just what it is. And I've said this for years, like magic is like water, and it's going to take the easiest route to the finish line. And sometimes that's not always what you want. Like there was a meme on Instagram years ago, and I've shared it so many times, I think I even posted it, is like, I did a spell to get rid of negativity and the next day I got evicted. Like maybe you're the problem. Like, as you know, just self-awareness in situations too is very helpful. You know, I don't know. Magic is very
well, I mean, there are a lot of people in our audience right now saying that they don't agree with me using the word baby witch. Okay. I'm gonna preface this. It's not the word is not for everyone, but I think you're misinterpreting the way I'm using it. I'm not meaning it to like lower someone's intelligence, if that's what you're thinking. You know, Jennifer wrote, I don't like the term baby witch, however, it doesn't seem to bother others. And M said, there is no such thing as a baby witch. No one has called a Christian baby Christian. You are what you are. We are born with spiritual beliefs and abilities. I agree, but I think you're misunderstanding the way I'm using baby witch. I'm saying that you're new at learning something. I'm using, look.
Nate, what is it?
I'm not going to get into a debate with it. I'm using it in a way I don't think that you understand. I don't mean it in a negative way. I'm saying like baby witch, the way I see it, is more so you're new at something all the time. And I just like the word baby witch.
Okay, what's the word? The word coming to my mind is nativity, but it's not nativity. It's
naivety.
Like, yeah, you're coming to with no knowledge. Is
with no
the way
knowledge. I don't mean
used.
It the way they're calling. They're thinking it's baby It's a degrading way of saying that you're a baby. You're just a baby. No, I don't mean it that way. I mean, always knew it's something. So, you know, it's. I'm sorry you don't agree with what I'm saying, but I don't think you realize how I'm using the word. I'm not using it in a, you know, Christian baby witch. A Christian, a baby Christian. I get it, but I'm not meaning it in like a negative way, because some people do see the word baby witch negatively. They think it's basically calling someone, oh, you're just a baby. That's not how I mean it.
Well, and two, I think there's I don't know.
I'm not offended by the word. Okay. I'm not offended by it. I don't know why people are. I don't get it. I think it's cute.
I think it's because people think, well, I think there was a time when baby witch was used. Well, I think it was used derogatory as like a way to like demean new people. But I also, I don't know. For somebody who grew up Christian, I think, now again, this is just my opinion, okay, my own experience. I don't think the word, like the term baby Christian is used, because
I never thought of actually.
This is going to be this is not going to be good, but I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. Christianity, to me, in my own personal opinion, is not elevated on spirituality. It's indoctrination. There is a set dogma around Christianity and a way that you're supposed to believe, the way you're supposed to interact with deity and other people around you. From my own personal experience and the type of, you know, Christianity that I grew up in, there's not a path to deviate from. Does that make sense? So when you're talking about religion, and I think that's the biggest thing, witchcraft is not a religion. So there's not a set dogma. There's not a handbook to go by to say, you know, you're a baby Christian, because there just isn't. When I hear the term, I think it's more about coming to it with eagerness and not a lot of knowledge. And I mean, maybe there is a bit better term. I don't know. But I think that's the difference when you're referring to like religion versus spirituality. And that, again, like someone was saying, baby pagan. Paganism is a religious viewpoint of the world. To me, okay, and I could be wrong, but I think that's where the difference comes. Like, you don't say baby Buddhist either.
Well, I mean, I just
Buddha?
don't understand, I'm not saying that everybody's directly offended. I just don't understand why people hate it so much. I don't get it. I guess when I was introduced to, it's the same thing when people used to use the word fluff bunny. That never offended me either. Maybe it's because I don't have any insecurities with who I am in my witchcraft that the terms don't really offend me. I'm not saying that it offends anybody specifically in our audience, all right? I'm just saying there are a lot of people that get offended by the term baby witch, and I just don't understand it. Like I said, I think it's a cute term. It's all perception. It's all how you perceive it. But note to self, I won't use the term baby witch because everybody deems it evil. I don't fucking get it, but I get it. And, NMMK saying it's not that deep. Honey, I get it's not that deep. I'm just expressing, just in case someone misunderstood where I was thinking, like where the baby witch in my head kind of lies. Some people may think that I'm basically using in a derogatory or negative way. That's not how I mean it. But note to self, won't use that term anymore because evidently like 80% of people are offended by it, which is, hey, to each their own.
Well, yeah. And I mean, that is the thing. It is and I mean, not to go back on what MK was saying, but there has been a lot of discussion about it on Instagram and on I don't know about on Twitter because I don't go on Twitter, but on threads about the term.
I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know. I know Fluff Bunny was one too.
By different things. It's all perception, and I just perceive the word very cutely. I think it's a positive term. That's the only reason why I've ever used it. But I'm not on TikTok. I don't do witch talk. I'm not really on Instagram all that much, and I don't really put any kind of witchcraft really all that much on my Instagram. It's more of a personal social media thing for me. So I don't see where everybody hates it so much or why everybody hates it. So my bad if it offended anybody or people hate the word baby witch. For me, in my mind, I don't get it. So I used it. My bad. Well, let's move on to the next topic.
Well, that's why when people
I'm always offending somebody. Why is it always me? I'm always getting in a thing where someone gets offended by something I say. I don't understand.
Well,
I just need to not talk anymore.
You just have to claim the term, like, okay, like the baby witch. It's kind of like the baby witch thing. When I first started posting like witchcraft videos on YouTube, people would come in the comments or like message me on Instagram and being like, you should not be making this making the content basically because you're just doing like basic witchery, like you're just a basic witch.
What?
So I was like, I didn't get it. I was like, I don't understand what I'm doing. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm confused by it. And so then I just was like, okay. So I made a t-shirt and a hoodie with basic witch. And I was just like, I'm just going to embrace it. Like, okay, I'm basic.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. But it's just like one of those things where I think too, like, this is like a bigger conversation. And this is just where the conversation is leading. So I'm going to go with it because why the fuck not? That's what Wine and Witchcraft is. You never know what's going to happen. I think too, like socially, politically, I just feel like this is organically where it's going, or maybe this is where I'm pushing the conversation. Who knows? But that's what it is. I feel like socially and politically, like we're in such like a weird transitional time. And I think there's a lot of positives coming out of that, but I don't know. I just don't feel like sometimes the way you perceive things isn't necessarily how it's meant. I guess.
Do you mean? What do you mean the way you perceive things? I'm confused.
Just because you're offended doesn't mean it's offensive.
Well, and let's preface by saying, because NM wrote who is offended. Look, I ain't mad. I'm just making conversation. I'm not even displeased. Like, I'm not even disturbed by it. I just, I'm using the word like offended as in like no one's really offended. It's just a conversation that like most of our audience didn't agree. Sorry, my cat automatic feeder is going off. Can you hear that?
No. Is it talking?
You can hear that?
What is it saying?
Can you hear that?
I can like faintly hear a voice, but I don't know what it's saying or what it is.
Okay, well, I have an automated cat feeder down here, and it goes, and it's my voice because you can record your voice, and it goes, magic, time for num-nums, food, come get it, yum yum, and it says it 3 times, but it's like right next to me, so I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna pick it up on the show. Anyway, and it automatically spits out kibble at a certain time every day. Anyway, I digress. I'm not saying that anybody's offended. Look, I'm all happy. I'm jolly. I'm good. If you're good, I'm good, I was just saying, like, a lot of people were saying they didn't like the term baby witch. I just wanted to make sure people understood that I wasn't coming off as, I guess they're seeing the word. They don't like the word. So I just want to make sure that they understood that I'm not using the word in a negative light. That's all. Nothing to sit here and dwell on. Nobody's offended. I'm not offended. I'm happy-go-lucky. It's all good. It's all fine.
I'm offended that you're not offended. No.
Snowflakes need to be melted. Baby witch is official canon. What does that mean? Wasn't snowflakes like like along with like fluff bunnies? Wasn't that like a bad thing back in the day? Or was it just fluff bunnies?
I think snowflakes is like a preemptive term for like woke, maybe.
I don't
know. I'm a millennial. I'm not sure.
Snowflakes need to get melted. Baby witch is official canon. I'm trying to understand it. I don't get it. Look, we're all good. Look, I'm happy. I ain't mad at nobody. It's not a thing. I was just making sure that everybody understood that I didn't mean any harm by using the word baby witch because my brain doesn't see it as negative. Anyway, like you were saying, go on.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
You were saying something along the lines of
okay. I'm like, I'm confused.
Snowflakes mean white girl.
I've never heard that before.
Shuddy.
I've never heard that
Pay
before.
no attention to the man behind the curtain. You're not part of this show. Back the fuck off. No one asked for your 2 cents, peanut gallery. Okay, he's saying a snowflake is someone who's easily offended. Yeah, Whitney said that. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that term at all, really. I didn't know that.
I didn't either, to be honest with you. Not until Whitney had said it. And Faye on my soul wrote, where I live, snowflake means white girl. I mean, I guess I could.
Where do you live? Where snowflake
where do you live?
Girl?
Snowflakes mean people who are oversensitive. Okay. I think I have heard that. Like easily offended, like, oh, you're just a snowflake. Yeah, I mean, I can't, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm not into, I don't know. Yeah, Broomsticks and Bullshit is always known to have shit stirred. Look, there's no shit stirred. I was just trying to clear the air. We know it and embrace it. Surely it isn't offensive no matter what topic. If it is you generally are, if it is you, I'm buzzed. Okay. Generally are in the wrong place. Yeah, you were generally in the wrong place. Yeah. You never
Yeah, we don't even have to try to be offensive. We just naturally are.
I wasn't trying to be offensive. Not that anybody was offended. I can't believe I have to explain myself. People should know me by now. But anyway, I move on.
So 2024 goals.
Yes, Whitney, thank you. God, bringing it back.
Get canceled. No.
That's our goal. As wine and witchcraft staff, we need to get canceled. And me explaining myself is not happening. It's not helping me. I haven't drank this much alcohol in a long time.
Basic witchery. Yeah, I don't know. I've just given up on trying to be fancy. I've given up on it.
When,
Like,
okay, whoa. When have you ever tried to be fancy, first of all? When has that ever happened?
like the fancy witchery and all, like, I'm just over it. I'm over it. 2024, we're going back to basics. Screw all the maximalism. Yeah, that's not happening. Who
No
am I
one is
kidding?
you've never tried to be fancy. Shut the fuck up. You are like the freaking BJ's Warehouse of freaking witchcraft.
And I love it. Like, that's my vibe.
I know. So why you saying fuck the fancy? You never been fancy.
I'm saying fuck it all. It's all about being messy, honey. Okay, so, and that's the thing. Like, I think that's why people come here, because it is messy. You need somewhere
we had
to
this
be messy.
conversation earlier. Justin and I were talking about how we used to be really messy, like season 1 and season 2. We were really messy, really bad. The funny thing is, nobody really got on my case about that back then either. I don't know.
Well, nobody watched.
Well, yeah, good point. Nobody watched, so we didn't have an audience back then, right? So nobody could get on my case about being sloppy. But we drank a lot more back then, right? Like we used to drink a lot. Like we would drink a whole bottle of wine to our heads during the show and be completely fine. And then we noticed, like, over the 4 years, like the alcohol consumption on the show is slightly, like, not slightly, but steadily gone downhill to the point where I think, like, last on the Yule episode, I think I had 1 beer and that was it. And I don't even think I finished it. You know, and we were talking about that. And I said, we need to bring back the sloppy. Like, we need to bring back the good old times where, you know, the slogan was tune in because you never know what the fuck they're going to say. We got too serious. We need to stop being so goddamn serious. I think everybody else started being serious too. Like the audience started being serious. It's like, bring it down a notch. It ain't that serious.
Well, I think too, it's just like, you know, when you have more people watching, there's like more pressure to like be more.
You know what? The pressure's out the window. I don't fucking give a shit.
Correct, I guess. Especially now, like, granted, people do say offensive shit, like some fucked up shit. That is true.
Well, like Whitney's saying, bring back the shit-faced wine and witchcraft. Look, I can do that, but like right now, I have really bad heartburn, and I've had 3 glasses of wine. I have like this much left of the bottle, right? Okay, so I've had all of this, and I've got heartburn so bad right now. Because here's the thing: when you get older, I'm 42. When you get older, your stomach is like, fuck no, bitch. Like, we ain't doing this shit. You give me all this shit. Okay, this is why I don't do wine and witchcraft in the bedroom.
In the bedroom.
Alcohol just you get drunk the same. It's not a matter of that. It's how your body processes it, and then the hangover the next day, you get that you don't sleep right. You don't get enough sleep because you're not really deep sleeping, right? You wake up with either nauseousness or vomiting, usually just nauseousness for me, and a fucking migraine headache. Like, I ain't about that life at 42. You know, so I started like cutting down the alcohol consumption to the point where like I don't drink at all ever. I don't drink, and then I don't have any friends either. So if not, I'm gonna sit at home and drink by myself. Yeah, I have no friends to go out with, so I don't go out drinking. I don't drink anymore. The only time I ever drink is on wine and witchcraft, and at that I play it safe because like the hangover at 42, I dread that shit, right?
Yeah.
So they have these things, I guess, like these drops you put in your wine that's supposed to get rid of like the chemicals that preserve the wine or whatever, that give you the headache the next day. And I haven't tried them yet, but when we move to the new house and we continue the show on for the next like 25 years, I might actually fucking get those drops because I've been light drinking, like not even getting any kind of anything, you know, with the alcohol because I'm so fucking afraid of like the hangover next day. I don't want to deal with it. I just fucking don't.
Well, I think you just need to change your username to Toxic Tits.
For real, because I'm a toxic bitch. But like this Pepsid, I gotta take fucking Pepsid when I eat or drink now because my stomach's like, fuck you, bitch, fuck you.
It's true. The acid reflux is no fucking joke. I hate it. And
it's gotten worse than surgery. With a glass of wine, that makes so much sense. So much fucking sense. Milk and Tylenol. Like before you drink? And are we talking about like, do we drink a glass of milk and then some Tylenol before we drink or the next day? Because I just, I don't want to get no hangover. I ain't about that life.
Yeah, no, I can't do the hangover shit. I cannot.
I
can't do it.
just, and I hate
But
to, you
there
never
is like,
it.
but there is an element of messiness that needs to return.
Oh, it's already returned. Hello, have I not presented myself in full glory? It is, the messiness has already fucking returned. Oh yeah, it tastes like chicken.
When speaking of terms, I think I said in one of my 12 Days of Yule video, like I've actually been contemplating. Okay, this is gonna start a whole nother whirlwind.
Oh God, here we go. Here we go.
Exactly. I don't want to drink milk before I drink. It'll curdle. Exactly.
Stop it.
I've like been delving around with like not using the term witch anymore.
What do you want to use?
I don't know. I haven't decided. Like, I don't know that it's
like occult practitioner. Magical practitioner.
I've like started to say just magical practitioner, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I don't like have an aversion to the word, or it's not that I don't like the title of witch, but like I kind of just like, I don't know. Something's changing where I just don't know that it necessarily. I don't like have that deep connection with that term that I used to.
Well, what about your YouTube name? You're the Witch of Enchantment.
And I'm not changing my YouTube name. I don't care if I start posting, if I convert to Christianity, it's going to be the Witch of Enchantment.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Like, you would be getting all these comments like, you know, repent for your sins.
I just can't understand.
Grow a beard and become a wizard.
Okay, I'm not using the term wizard. I'm so sorry. Like, again, offensiveness. I just can't. Prefaces my opinion, okay, because I feel like we have to do that now. I can't take anyone who uses the term wizard seriously. I just can't. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. I can't. I just can't do it. I cannot. Hello, the Wizard of Enchantment. No, I cannot subscribe to that kind of buffoonery. I just can't. I'm sorry. I just think of cosplay. I'm not going to do it.
Quidditch. I actually have seen like
no.
Babe, where were we? Were we in
Boston Commons?
We were in Boston Commons, and there was someone with brooms, like a whole team of like 12 people with broomsticks playing Quidditch. They literally had broomsticks between their legs running across a field. And we were driving by, and Anthony said, "What the fuck is that?" And I look over, I'm like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me." They were literally playing Quidditch with brooms between their legs. And I'm like, I can't right now. I can't deal. No.
I love this comment so much. Okay, I just can't. I'm like, no, I'm a wizard of the other realm. Go back to the other realm. I just can't. I'm so sorry. I just can't. When I think of magic, and again,
Ivy's comment.
Okay. Ivy, I love you. Okay, I do. You know that. I consider you a friend. I know you feel the same way. I love you to pieces. I can't do the magician either. I love you through it. What is the Tina McBride song about cancer? I'm gonna love you through it. I'm loving you through it, girl. Because you are so smart and so beautiful, and you are like the closest thing to perfection in the community.
Convention. Oh my God.
I know.
I'm gonna pee myself. Oh my God. That was the funniest shit.
She can be, the chaos magician, and I'll be the chaos wizard. Okay. And we'll just have a gay old time.
I don't have an aversion, or have not started getting an aversion to the word witch. I still use it, but honestly, no one really asked me to describe myself in society, so I don't really ever have to use it anyway. But I kind of like practitioner of the occult. I kind of like that, but I haven't gotten any kind of, because I've never like been out in society with being like, okay, what like spiritual practice are you? What kind of religion are you? I've never had to like tell people I'm a witch, so I haven't really.
I mean, when I hear wizard, I just can't do it. It's like, I would prefer for you to call yourself a psychic medium who does tarot readings and still reads out of the book. Like, I would prefer that over anything else. I just
Did we just go there? Did we just go there?
I just can't. I just can't do it. I wish I could be sorry. I'm just not.
I've never, I mean, here's the thing. You would only use the label if you were talking to someone to describe yourself, but I've never been, even when I had it, because I'm unemployed, I've been unemployed for 2 years, but back when I was working, no one ever asked me, like, what spiritual path are you, or what religion are you? No one's ever asked me that. So I've never had to say, oh, I'm a witch. So I've never had to use the word. Even with my YouTube channel, it's Esoteric Echoes. There's no, so I don't have an aversion to the word, I don't
have an aversion to the word. I don't know. Someone said I just hate labels. And here's the thing with labels. Again, to just dig in deeper to the trench. I think labels are bullshit, but also like necessary, I guess, in a way. But like, okay, yeah. I can't, don't even get me started on that. Okay, so.
Are you talking about MK?
I have 87 things going through my head right now, and I'm just trying to keep them all straight because I'm intoxicated. Okay. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I already lost track of what I was saying. What was I talking about?
You were talking about
labels. Labels. Yeah. Okay. So here's my thing with labels. Yes, 100%. 100%. Wizards is a white nationalist thing. Okay. That is historically a fact.
I can see that.
That is historically a fact. Okay. The labels thing, I think, really only comes into play within our own community, where people are like obsessed with like this labels game. And so many people have talked about it. Like more recently, I saw Ivy talking about it with the Witch of Wonderlust. Like she doesn't call herself a death witch or whatever, unless people like ask her, like, what the fuck? Okay, Gandalf is coming up in the comments. I just can't. Anyways.
You guys are so funny. I'm sorry. I'm laughing. I'm laughing at you, but I'm laughing at our audience because they have a conversation going all in themselves, and it's fucking hilarious.
Like it's a community thing where people are like, it's like, I get it, the necessity for it, because like it's a connection. Like, okay, you're a folk practitioner, or you have Catholic influences, but it's like I kind of don't understand like the need for a resume. Like that's what it feels like to me. Like, hi, my name's Justin. I'm the Witch of Enchantment. I'm a folk practitioner who works with saints. I also eat menstrual blood. I also kill why do I need your full resume? I don't get it.
Right. No, like, I agree. Like I don't think I've ever, sorry, my cat is in and out of the little cubicle here and he's driving me nuts. I've never had to explain myself on my channel because I don't really think I need to. Like if you've been watching my channel, I'm Brittany. I live in Florida. I'm 42, married with 2 kids, and I'm a witch. Or I practice witchcraft. You're on a witchcraft channel. What do you think I'm gonna do? Talk about selling black pants? Or like talk about fucking cat food? Like what do you think this channel is? You know what I mean? So I've never had to give my whole resume. I never even thought to, because if you're on my channel and you're subscribed to me, you know what the fuck it's about,
Yeah, Voga, you're 100% correct about that. That is true. I don't know. I find it. What do I find it? I find it.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at MK. Eat menstrual blood.
I don't know. That's just what came to my mind. That's just what came to my mind. I don't know. It's just like, it's just so influency to me. I don't know. Just kind of like
you're saying, like when you try to give, you're like, I'm Justin, a witch of 25 years and high priest of blah, blah, blah. You're trying to basically put yourself on this high pedestal to make yourself up here so that your audience is down here. That's unnecessary, and that's honestly tacky. I'm not gonna lie, it's tacky.
The vampire. Oh my god, have y'all seen Saltburn? Okay, I cannot.
No.
Okay, the vampire of it all.
Stargate all over again because I can't get the movie Stargate. I can't get the movie Stargate on my TV because none of my subscription services have it. But I started watching Stargate SG-1, the TV show that followed after the movie. I'm sorry, Justin, if you haven't seen Stargate, it's so fucking good. It's fucking good, is it not? It is. Okay, Stargate is fucking the shit. Okay, and then before that, I watched MacGyver. Yeah, from the beginning to end.
Are you 72? Okay, so here's the thing with Saltburn. Okay.
I don't even know what that is. What the fuck is salt?
So it's very like God, trying to have a clear thought when you're intoxicated is kind of difficult.
Well,
So
I'm
basically
more scared than you are,
so basically he goes down on this girl and
Oh, okay.
she's yeah. So she's like, you can't do that. I'm, it's that time. And he basically makes like a vampire comment, and there you go. So Saltburn is a very interesting film. It's very God, what's the word? Like metaphoric. It's like I can't think of the word. But it's crazy. It's good. Oh, honey, let me tell you.
What the fuck does that mean?
If you like homoerotic shit, you will love this movie.
Okay, that's why I'm not understanding any of this, because that ain't my jam. Okay, Magic, in or out of the cubicle, will you?
Okay, so I have a story actually about this. So I worked with somebody, I'm not going to say her name, but I worked with this girl, and she was, wow, I am on another level right now. Anyway, so she had met this girl. The tub needs to be nominated 100%. The tub scene, girl. Okay, I was hot. I don't understand why people were so shocked by this movie. I'm like, it just seems like a normal Tuesday.
It's a movie. I thought it was a TV show. Okay,
it's a movie, but like this guy jerks off in the tub and then leaves, and the other guy goes in there and like slurps up the water. What's the problem? I don't get it. Anyways, okay, back to my story. So there was this girl that I knew, and she was dating this girl, and she went down. Okay, compose yourself. You're a professional. I'm a professional. So she is going down on her girlfriend or whatever. This is a real life story. Okay, I heard it right from the horse's mouth. And so she's doing her thing, it's really gushy down there. She's enjoying it, right? All that, right? So she goes to the bathroom and flicks the light on. She said it literally looked like she had murdered somebody. The girl had started her period while she was down there. She said there was blood all over her face, in her hair, all over her chest, everywhere. She just starts screaming like, ah! The girlfriend gets up and looks in the mirror. I was like, oh, they both start freaking out. She's embarrassed. The girl breaks up with her. She's like, that's too far. I am all about the Red Wing situation. Like, I'm not bothered by that, but I am not going down. Don't ever use the word gushy. It was gushy. It was moist. It was a moist towelette.
I am so done with this show.
Honestly, if you have an iron deficiency, I think that's the best route of action. The best kind of.
I'm done. I am no longer your best friend. I decide to divorce you. I'm done. Like,
hey, it is organic.
You're giving excuses. You're giving excuses for it.
Hey, everyone's all about health. Yeah, domination magic, exactly. Like, hello.
Okay, you said my poo with Ziploc bags in each other's butts was gross. Okay. This is way worse. This is a whole nother level, okay? Welcome to Wine and Witchcraft, where we talk about period blood and shit.
Hey, like I have said before, you should not let any bodily fluid go to waste. Anything can be used for the betterment or the detriment. Yes, for the betterment or the detriment of others. And that's what it's all about. Is tearing bitches down or lifting them up. You never know, which, you got to keep your options open. Menstrual blood is a very powerful tool, magically. To wrap it all up.
I've never used it. I'm just kind of, for me, it's kind of like, okay, good, we got it. When's it over?
When's it over?
When's it over? I'm just like, okay, cool, got my period. Okay, when's it over? Like, I'm not even thinking about magic. Like, it's not even on my radar. When's it over? When can I wear my white jeans again, please? And thank you.
You know, here's the thing, like, you gotta be resourceful. You don't
You know
need
what's
all the
really
tools.
funny is, tampon situation. Like I'll maybe pull the tampon out and forget that to flush the toilet or whatever. Anthony will text me. This used to be when I used to go to work, in the morning. He would text me, and like so if I'm I'd get up, do my thing, and then I'd be putting makeup on. I'd be rushing out the door. He'd get up to go to work like 2 hours later. He would text me, "Why is there a aborted fetus in our toilet?"
Honey, she's gotta go. She's
But
got to
that's
go.
as crazy as my life gets. Usually it's just kind of like, yeah, okay, it's cool, it's here. When's the end date?
When's it ever?
When's it over? But
I'm just
yeah,
saying, like, don't let an opportunity go to waste.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, anything can be used in any sort of witchery.
I don't know where this conversation started and where it's going or what the fuck happened on the show. But we've maintained like 45 people in the show, and I don't fucking know why. But is someone cooking something? Smells like burnt toast. I don't know. Maybe I'm having a stroke. Shit. Well, it's now 10:26. We got a couple more minutes left in the show. This show has been a fucking travesty, which is what we're here. which is what Wine and Witchcraft is.
That's
but
what for sure. That's what it's all about.
I won't be in the next show, but you guys are gonna want to tune into it because it's gonna be Owlvine stepping in for me because I won't be here. I'll be at the Quiet Riot concert. Yeah. And it'll be Justin and Owlvine and a guest, which I'm not gonna divulge. That will be a surprise, but there will be a guest. And it's going to be about magical record keeping. So I'm really excited to watch the playback of it because there's probably some things that you guys all might talk about in the audience and as hosts that will be beneficial to many people. So it should be a really good episode. Oh,
it should be. Hopefully, we'll see. If it's not, it won't be the first time we've done a shitty episode. And I'm sure it won't be the last.
I don't think we've ever done a shitty episode.
Oh, we have.
Well, maybe not to the audience. Okay. But you never know what you're gonna get. But we try to be fun. We try to be educational. We try to be completely fucking off the rocker, which obviously was obtained this evening. We have our squirrel moments, our rabbit holes that you never know where they're gonna go. Owlvine is actually, where did she say she was going? I forget now.
She has a family event tonight, I believe.
Is that what it was? I know she told us, but I can't remember. She goes, "Hey guys, I'm not gonna be in the show because I got A, B, and C," and I forget what she said. But she'll watch the replay, I'm sure.
She will. Well, I mean, this was a fun show, I have to say.
Oh, it was a blast. It was such a blast. It was so much fun. But I'm just laughing at some of the shit you just said like 20 minutes ago.
I mean, the thing is, I feel like you have to have somewhere where you can be a ridiculous person.
And people
there
still
isn't necessarily a lot of places to do that. And we encourage the ridiculousness here on Wine and Witchcraft.
We encourage the blood and the guts and the diarrhea and, the various other things and offensive. I use in air quotations because now it's an inside joke. Offensive things. We encourage it because it's fun.
Well, and that needs to be a new Wine and Witchcraft merch. Are you offended yet?
Yes, but anybody who's been to this show will understand the inside joke.
Well, and it seems like no matter if somebody is offended, somehow they still stick around. Like in the past, no one's. I'm not saying tonight, but we have had people that are offended. Like we've had messages like, "You've offended me tremendously, but I'm going to keep watching." Got it.
Wait, that's actually happened?
That has happened a couple times.
I know I have offended people in my life, but this is Wine and Witchcraft where you play around, it's fun.
Exactly. Just lighthearted craziness. That's all it is.
It's always me, though. It's always me. It's always me that's stirring up some trouble. I'm the trouble. Is it me? Am I the drama? Is it
probably.
me?
But you know what? No, you know, we can start talking about love and light is toxic and just go right on to a whole
Okay,
nother.
yes, you did have a moment in history. You have had a
I
moment.
do have
in
a
history.
moment in history.
Yeah.
But forgotten by all, remembered by few. I don't
Oh my
fucking
god, I'm so dead. Oh shit.
Alma said you are the drama, and we love
I
it.
think I actually laughed so hard at one point. I think I peed myself, but I'm not really sure because I'm 42 years old. I've had 2 kids, and I don't have a very strong bladder. And I might have laughed and peed, and I'm not really sure. And I won't know until I get from this chair.
If there's a little snail trail, there's a snail trail there waiting for you. Oh God. Well, it is 10:30, so that is tonight's episode. Thank you so much for sticking around for the travesty that is Wine and Witchcraft Live. The next episode will be January 27th. We are going to have a guest. And that's it. We're going to talk about magical record keeping. Like she said, Alvine will be subbing in. And that is it for tonight's episode. So go practice magic, menstruate, do the things.
Wait, I think I am menstruating. Am I? Yeah, I think I am. I think I am.
How would you know? You should know. It's your vagina.
Well, I can't remember if like, what's today?
The 13th.
No, I mean day of the week.
Saturday?
Yeah, I'm still menstruating.
Okay, don't forget a tampon in there. That's the last thing you need is a slimy green tampon.
Green? Why would it be green?
Don't leave it in there too long. Yeah, it's not a permanent solution.
Oh my god.
Yes. Good night, witches, wizards, and druids. Have a fantastic day.
Why wizards and druids and baby witches and baby
Magicians.
Christians.
All of it. Oh God.
Bye guys. See you on the 27th. Well, I will, but you know.
That one. Yeah. Bye.